Story, though, from our nation's capital, and what many thought was a no-brainer piece of legislation expected to easily pass, but that is now at least temporarily on hold. It's called the Veterans Toxic Exposure Bill, made popular by the support and attention of comedian Jon Stewart. It essentially makes it a whole lot easier for millions of veterans to get access to health and disability benefits after exposure to burn pits, places overseas where the military sets on fire all kinds of waste. Senators, though, couldn't get enough votes to end debate on it last night. That is despite the fact that it passed last month by a vote of 84 to 14. It had to be reconsidered due to some technicalities. Supporters are livid right now. Instead, the big snag happened as some Republican senators raised concerns over reclassifying the budget spending from discretionary to mandatory. It gets a little bit into the weeds, but supporters of this bill said at the end of the day, whether it's discretionary or mandatory, lawmakers will in the future still decide how the money is spent. And here is their passionate anger at all of this.
This is total bull. This is the worst form of over-politicization I've literally ever seen. This is total BS. We had the votes, we had strong bipartisan support for this bill, and at the 11th hour, Senator Toomey decides that he wants to rewrite the bill, change the rules, and tank it. How he convinced 25 of his colleagues to change their vote, I have no idea. I mean, what the hell?
What happened yesterday is totally unacceptable. Unacceptable. And I can guarantee you this, I've been here long enough to know that if you want to find a reason to vote against a bill, you can. But the truth is what happened yesterday is they voted against the men and women who fight for this country that want to return back to civilian life and have a normal life.
Senator Pat Toomey won't take a meeting with the veterans groups. Sends out his chief of staff. I'm used to the cowardice. I've been here a long time. Senate's where accountability goes to die.
Now to be clear, 8 Republicans voted for this bill. It just wasn't enough. And those like Toomey who used to support it, again, said that it has this gimmick that's tied to it that could allow additional spending in the future that's not related to veterans care. Tester and others blasted that rationale. But one GOP senator said today that at some point in some fashion, this will pass. We'll continue to follow it. But today we did reach out to the CEO of the Veterans One Stop of Western New York to get his reaction to all of this. And he was completely caught off guard. He thought this was already a done deal.
This may be a temporary setback, but there are veterans who are urgently awaiting care for these issues. And, some of them may die in the meantime because some members of our political leadership decided to use this issue as a political bargaining chip. If we're not going to take care of the men and women who serve our country when they come back from war, maybe we should start thinking about whether we're going to send them in the first place.
There are more than 100,000 veterans in the western part of New York, and Adam Howard there estimated that several thousand were directly impacted by these burn pits, which means they're directly impacted by this delay. We will continue to follow what happens next.